It's been hard. There's been some really emotional days.
Family of missing man Robert Belding hoping for news as crews scour the swollen river where he disappeared. Outrage over a reduced sentence for an active shooter.
This is a slap in the face to all of us.
How a man who targeted RCMP won the appeal for less jail time. And a natural attraction mysteriously destroyed. Who locals blame for the end of Hobo Hot Springs.
You're watching Global BC. This is Global News at 5.
Good afternoon, and thanks very much for joining us. Sophie is off today. The daughter of a man who went missing during last weekend's atmospheric river says her family is still holding out hope. Angela Jung is live in Coquitlam for us right now. And Angela, the family and searchers are hoping for a breakthrough tomorrow.
That's right, Chris, because so far all searchers have been able to do is search from boats, from drones on the ground, but they haven't been able to get into the river, and that's why the family believes that is critical. Robert Belding has been missing for 4 days now, and it's believed he fell into the Coquitlam River. That's why family and friends have been searching near the river and in the bush. Belding was last seen around 5 p.m. Sunday. His family and friends have been searching ever since. His daughter Jessica says her dad and uncle were at a friend's place helping clean up a flooded basement when her dad went to take the dog out for a washroom break. That was the last time he was seen. A Coquitlam search and rescue manager says a witness reported seeing Belding try to rescue this dog that was later found safe, and he was swept away by the raging river. His daughter says, statistically, she understands the chances of survival is slim after someone falls into the river, but they are holding onto hope.
He's a trooper. He's strong. If there's any chance that he was conscious once he was in the river, I believe that he fought to get out. And so we are keeping hope that he is still out there and we just haven't found him. I'm not sure how many people have gone through this, but it's just terrible not knowing where your loved one is. And I really don't wish this on anyone.
Several agencies with their swift water teams will be here tomorrow. Now that there hasn't been rain in the last few days and the water level is finally dropped, this is a very critical time because rain is forecasted again this weekend. So searchers say there is really only a small window of opportunity that they have. And the family says this is critical, and they find comfort in knowing that swift water teams may possibly be out here tomorrow. Chris?
All right, we hope they stay safe as they do. Angela, thanks very much. And tonight we're also hearing from a close relative of Sonia McIntyre, the elementary school teacher who died in a mudslide in Coquitlam over the weekend. Her first cousin, Jacqueline, has flown in from Los Angeles. She has the heart-wrenching task of sorting through all of McIntyre's remaining belongings. Jacqueline remembers her cousin as a bright, determined woman who never took no for an answer. The 57-year-old was born in Vancouver and had several careers before becoming a teacher. She taught at Port Moody's Aspenwood Elementary School. And though she never had kids of her own, Jacqueline says she treated her students like family.
But she's been a teacher for the last, I want to say, almost 25 years. So that's been her main mission, her life's work. She loved it. She loved the kids. She loved the community that she built, the parents, the families. It wasn't just teaching a child and they move on. It was she watched them all the way through.
First responders recovered McIntyre's body on Sunday night, one day after the house she rented along Quarry Road was washed away. Her family is planning to hold a celebration of life for her in Port Moody and would like for her school community to attend. A date for that service has not been set. Parts of BC's south coast continue to recover from that recent atmospheric river, but a group of Abbotsford residents say this certainly isn't a one-off for them, and they are getting frustrated.
The water was about this high, about a meter. You wouldn't be able to walk in with these boots.
Dario Rossi says last weekend's heavy rainfall left his 5-acre property under a meter of water with a half meter in his home. He says he deals with flooding 4 or 5 times a year and has identified 2 blockages in a nearby creek as part of the problem, but says the city of Abbotsford has been unwilling to help.
They're claiming there is a protected species here in the water channels that they call the Salish suckerfish. So we end up hiring biologists that couldn't find that as a proof. And the federal government, the Department of Fisheries, came to inform me that there is no fish.
Rossi says 5 or 6 families in the area have banded together to lobby all 3 levels of government for help, but so far they've had limited success. In a statement, the city of Abbotsford tells Global News, quote, "While we are empathetic to the property owner's situation, this appears to be a private property matter." Far more absentee and mail-in ballots were cast in the BC election than had been previously thought. Elections BC now says about 65,000 of those mail-in ballots still need to be counted. Initially, it was thought there were about 49,000. There will also be recounts in 3 ridings. The margin of victory in Wanda Fuka-Malahat and Surrey City Centre fell within 100 votes, triggering an automatic recount. A partial hand recount will be done in Kelowna Centre after a 1-vote discrepancy was found in the initial count. Requests for recounts in 4 other ridings were denied. The final count should be complete Monday. Now, the man who shot up a BC police detachment has had his sentence dramatically reduced on appeal. In November of 2021, Paul Nicholas Russell opened fire on the Vanderhoof RCMP detachment and on empty police cruisers outside. Luckily, no one was injured or killed. Russell was a first-time offender. He was acquitted of attempted murder, but was sentenced to 10 years in prison for reckless discharge of a firearm, mischief, endangering life, and fleeing from a police officer. But a BC appeal court judge has ruled the judge who sentenced Russell did not fully take into account his mental illness and has cut the sentence in half, angering law enforcement officials.
Rick is insulting. It's unfathomable, given the current environment that our police officers face. The challenges that we put on them to do everything at once. You're a social worker, you're a mental health worker, you're a police officer, you're a babysitter, and you're expected to do everything with less and less resources. So I think it's just such a sad state that a judge would issue a ruling like this.
Russell's sentence has been reduced to 4 years for reckless discharge of a firearm and 4 years for mischief endangering life, both of which can be served together. The judge added another year for fleeing from a police officer. Mission RCMP have an update on a suspicious fire at the community superstore Tuesday. Police say the fire, which started in the toilet paper aisle just before closing time, has been confirmed to be arson. Investigators say there were no other possible sources of ignition. A person of interest has also come forward and is cooperating with the investigation. Restoration crews are working to do the repairs, but staff say there is no estimated time for when the store could reopen. Vancouver police are attending the scene of a stabbing, or were attending the scene of a stabbing that took place this morning. Police located the victim near Hastings and Richard Street, though it doesn't appear that's where the incident happened. The victim was taken to hospital in stable condition with non-life-threatening injuries. No arrests have been made, and that investigation is ongoing. Turns out more than half of BC's small businesses say they've been directly impacted by crime over the past year. The Canadian Federation of Independent Business survey also found the majority of small businesses are so jaded by the crime wave, they don't even bother reporting it. Andrew McPherson reports.
Many businesses in the West End have been hit repeatedly by crime over the years, and they are not alone. As a new report from the Canadian Federation of Independent Business suggests, 57% of those surveyed have been directly impacted by crime this year, which is up by about 10% from last year. John Clarides, owner of the Marquee Wine Cellars, has actually lost count of how many times he's had to deal with theft, broken windows, and other crimes at his store.
A dozen times, maybe more. I should document it, and I don't. I'm just tired of it, and it's just part of my regular routine, making sure the windows aren't broken and there's no graffiti, or cleaning it up. cleaning up needles, things like that.
Despite the prevalence of these crimes and the fact that they're rising, small business owners often don't end up reporting these crimes to the police, and these crimes go underreported because they're not sure that anything's really going to happen to assist them. About 9 in 10 don't believe that they'll see any assistance if they actually file a police report.
And the report suggests these crimes have cost these businesses around $5,000, but Clarides feels that figure is low.
I'd say over the last 5 years, $20,000 to $30,000 easily. That's after tax. So if they're in almost $100,000 to make that much money, so quite a bit. And staff safety is absolutely tantamount in my business.
He blames the drug and housing crisis as well as prolific offenders. 8 in 10 small business owners say they are worried about their personal safety as well as the safety of their staff and customers. Andrea McPherson, Global News.
Still ahead, the federal government drastically lowers immigration targets. How that could affect life right here in BC. Plus,
we're focused on winning the next election, and we've got a great team around us to do it.
A defiant Prime Minister Justin Trudeau shows no signs of being ready to quit.
A bit of good news over here in Richmond, clearing stages of a multi-vehicle accident eastbound on the east-west connector near number 7 Road. It's all off to the right shoulder now, but still slowing you down. Through Kermack's charitable partnership with Surrey Memorial Hospital, when you choose Kermack for your vehicle repair, you support the Children's Health Centre at Surrey Memorial. Kermack cares for kids. I'm Trish Jewison in Global One, high above a crash on the east-west connector.
An exceptional assassin. It never looks the same way twice.
Who exactly is this man?
You know who I am. Just pops up, it makes noise.
Elspeth, all new tonight at 10 Eastern on Global.
That's right.
Whether on the go or on the job, the legendary Toyota Tundra will leave you tundra-struck. It's time to be impressed. It's time to Toyota.
You know that Royale Tiger Towel paper towel is Tiger Strong, but did you know it's carbon neutral? Tiger Towel is part of an organization that plants millions of trees each year and responsibly manage forests. Royale, trusted quality, carbon neutral.
IHOP?
Everybody's working for the weekdays.
It's time to celebrate the weekdays with new IHOP House Faves.
This month, you can transform young lives across BC. Support Variety, the children's charity, and tune into Global BC for Variety Week, October 21st to 27th. Visit variety.bc.ca or call 310-KIDS to learn more and have your gift matched.
Interest rates have finally started coming down.
For the first time in 4 years. Now is the time to use a FlexiLine to take control of your plans and finances.
Maybe it's that renovation you've been thinking about.
Or investing in a new property.
If you could borrow $80,000, $280,000, or even $2.8 million, how would you invest in yourself, your life, and your future?
Find out why Canadians have been trusting Capital Direct for decades.
Call 1-800-NEW-CAPITAL today.
CapitalDirect.ca.
Freaking genius.
Yep.
A new report from Stats Canada suggests parenthood is arriving much later for Canadians than it used to. The agency says recent data finds that parents of young kids were on average 36.2 years old. That's nearly 6 years older than the average from the early 1980s. It also finds that fewer Canadian families have young children at home. StatCan says there are a number of key factors, including an aging population, record low fertility rate, and changing norms and living arrangements. Additional contributing factors are high net immigration, inflation, and housing prices. The federal government has announced a major cut to immigration targets for the next 3 years. The previous target was 500,000 new permanent residents per year. The 2025 target is downgraded now to 395,000. In 2026, that'll fall to 380,000 and 365,000 in 2027. The immigration minister says the previous targets, quote, didn't get the balance right. And the goal of the new targets is to freeze population growth and stabilize the housing market.
The lower permanent resident targets, as well as the temporary resident targets, will have and are expected to impact the housing supply gap by about 670,000 units by the end of 2027. That means that we will not have to build an additional 670,000 housing units by that time. This is significant.
And we know that when immigrants come, they're coming because they see that there is a need. And businesses have been telling us for years now that there is a labor shortage. There is a mismatch between the skills available in our current labor market and the skills that they need in the jobs that are open. And that can be filled through immigration.
The federal government says the immigration cuts will also help reduce the burden on the healthcare system. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau is promising reflection after a contentious caucus meeting. He has assured Liberal MPs he will reflect on all that was discussed after a 3-hour meeting Wednesday. It comes after an expected confrontation by some MPs about his leadership and the party's future as they continue to fall behind the Conservatives in polling. Speaking this morning at an event on lowering immigration targets, Trudeau says the party is united in its desire to beat the Tories in the next election.
We're going to continue to have great discussions about how I can best lead the Liberal Party forward with measures that will counter the growing misinformation and disinformation that Mr. Poilievre is putting forward around Canadians. We're focused on winning the next election, and we've got a great team around us to do it.
Liberal MPs have been very tight-lipped about the discussions that occurred at Wednesday's meeting. Coming up, parents give BC's new grading system an F.
Because we kept seeing the word emerging, and it seemed like, oh, emerging means progressing, when in reality, our child was struggling.
What a new study says about descriptive grading. Plus, with the racist statistical dead heat, how Donald Trump and Kamala Harris are working to lock down swing votes in the U.S.
The truck was hauling 22 million killer bees.
Enough bees to kill
44,000 people.
Maybe they'll just fly away?
Not likely.
911, all new tonight at 8 Eastern on Global. Stream on Stack TV and the Global TV app. Money Numbers is brought to you by Envision Financial, a division of First West Credit Union.
Duh, that makes sense.
Richmond Auto Mall, largest selection of vehicles anywhere.
Are we ready to kick this run off Peloton? Let's go, baby.
It is your girl, Kirsten, and welcome to Peloton Outdoor.
You got this, Peloton.
When it feels like all that's left is work hard, it's time to play again. Easily find your next favorite game with Bodog.net. Free casino games, poker tips, and sports odds. Make a play.
No way! Richmond Auto Mall, largest selection of vehicles anywhere.
You asked, we delivered. This year's VGH Millionaire Lottery will create more early bonus winners, plus a $2.8 million cash grand prize, more than ever before. Choose your multi-millionaire lifestyle from 10 grand prize options, including this amazing 5-bedroom South Surrey home. Whether it's the Lower Mainland, Vancouver Island, or the Okanagan, BC's biggest home lottery has the prize that will change your life. We all need VGH, and VGH needs you.
When you buy travel insurance from Pacific Blue Cross, BC's health experts will help you get completely covered. From emergency medical visits to unexpected hotel nights, we're here so you can travel with confidence. Plus, kids of all families are covered free. And you help dream trips take flight. It's all backed by one of the most recognized symbols of healthcare in the world. Get completely covered with a travel plan from the health experts, Pacific Blue Cross.
That's so not us.
Richmond Auto Mall, largest selection of vehicles anywhere.
Closed captioning of this program is brought to you in part by Homewood Ravensview, a leader in treatment of anxiety, depression, trauma, and addiction. Comprehensive care for your path forward at Homewood Ravensview.
According to a new survey, BC parents are giving the province's new student grading system a big F. Last year, the Education Ministry replaced letter grades for students in kindergarten to grade 9 with what's known as a proficiency scale. It ranges from emerging to extending, but a survey by the Fraser Institute found a majority of parents, 65%, know what A grade means, while only 34% know what extending means. During the election campaign, the Conservatives vowed to return letter grades to report cards.
When parents get a report card, they want a straightforward and clear snapshot of how their children are doing. And the moment you have to start interpreting what the words mean, you've just created a barrier.
One of my children actually had some learning disabilities, but continued to always have that descriptive grade of emerging. So, you know, we actually were unaware that our child was actually struggling.
Whether it's letter grades or a proficiency scale, parents surveyed were nearly unanimous in wanting clear academic assessments in their child's report cards. All right, if kids are out, it was nice to get a break from the rain over the last little while, but it is coming back. Here is the latest with Christy in the Weather Center. Christy?
Thanks so much, Chris. Yeah, so this is the scene out there today. Another splendid fall day out there. We reach highs of about 12 degrees, and we're expecting 12 degrees again tomorrow, but we will see more cloud cover. As Chris mentioned, though, we're talking about rainfall for the weekend, and the numbers are starting to climb a little bit further, where we're anticipating anywhere from 60 to 80 millimeters of rain for the North Shore Mountains. And we well know that's a key area that had so many problems over this past weekend. There's still a lot of people cleaning up for that. So we're really giving everyone a heads up right now that we are anticipating that. The timeline for this is from Friday evening through Sunday night. So this is right throughout the weekend, but there's two time periods where we're anticipating the heaviest rainfall. It will not be on Friday, but by Friday evening, the rain will pick up. Friday night, we're expecting both very strong winds and heavy rain. So during that time period, that's when we're going to see more significant rain. A bit of a lull in the action during the day on Saturday, but then it's expected to pick up again Saturday evening, Saturday night, and we'll likely see moderate to heavy rain into our Sunday. These are the strong winds we're anticipating as well. So Friday night, very stormy, and we could see some power outages through the Strait of Georgia, along coastal regions, and delays in ferries. And the rainfall will shift in across much of the province, so this is good. We need more rainfall in the Kootenay regions right now, as well as the northeastern corner. It does come with the potential for snow over higher elevations, by the way. If you're doing any traveling this weekend, you have to anticipate snowfall, and that's even for those of you headed up to Whistler. In the meantime, tomorrow, another pleasant day, 12 degrees expected. Sure, we'll see more cloud cover tomorrow, but overall, it will be a pretty nice day. The rain will pick up sort of late evening Friday night. Chris, back to you.
All right, thank you very much, Christy. Residents of the community of Harrison are angry with the destruction of a grassroots hot spring. The locals had dubbed it Hobo Hot Springs, a spot not far from the Harrison Resort where natural hot water percolates up from the ground. Volunteers had built up pools with rocks and logs, and while the quality and temperature of the water fluctuated, many people enjoyed the chance for a free soak in the wilderness. Well, now the pools have been filled in with rocks and dirt, rendering it unusable. Harrison's mayor says the Harrison Hot Springs Resort is responsible for shutting down the pools.
I've used these hot springs before. I've been in here. I've been here on rainy nights and snowy nights. I've used them. I need to have a conversation with the manager of the resort, and I have one scheduled next week. I'd like to talk about this and a number of other things.
They really had no reason to do it. It's been a staple for years, and it just recently was renovated to the point that it was just such a nice place. It looked professional, very professional.
Harrison Hot Springs Resort has not responded to Global's ask for comments on this story. Coming up, Kamala Harris tries to sway undecided voters.
People who have been leaders in our country, regardless of their political party, understand what's at stake.
The final push before November 5th.
Clearing stages of a crash here on the Surrey-Delta border, southbound on Scott Road at 82nd Avenue. Save 25% on Beauty-Tone interior paint, tintable to any color you can imagine, only at Home Hardware and Building Center locations. Hurry in today, sale ends October 30th. I'm Trish Jewison in Global One, high above a crash on the Surrey-Delta border.
Looking for a natural health product to reduce your joint pain? Try Genicol Pain Relief. This clinically proven joint care formula contains amino lock collagen and eggshell membrane. These two ingredients help reduce joint pain associated with osteoarthritis. Thanks to Genicol Pain Relief, you can start to feel results in just 5 days. Add Canada's #1 selling joint care supplement to your daily routine and feel the difference.
Genicol makes me feel so good.
Global News Morning and the Vancouver Fall Home Show invite you to discover new ideas and inspiration for all your home projects October 24th to 27th at the Vancouver Convention Centre West. Connect with hundreds of trusted experts, including Stack TV's Brian Baumler. Plus, enter for a chance to win tickets to the Vancouver Fall Home Show and $2,500 in total Visa gift cards. Enter online at globalnews.ca.
Can you pass me that potato?
You mean this locally sourced potato?
Yeah.
This potato, which if unsold will be donated to a local food bank or farm to feed animals or returned to the earth as compost.
Yeah!
Here you go.
We're extra passionate about supporting our communities because at Save On Foods, a little extra can mean a lot.
This month, you can transform young lives across BC. Support Variety, the children's charity, and tune into Global BC for Variety Week, October 21st to 27th. Visit variety.bc.ca or call 310-KIDS to learn more and have your gift matched.
Are you experiencing functional movement issues due to injury or chronic disease? Kinesiologists are human movement specialists. We help you feel better and move better through personalized exercise prescription, therapy, and rehabilitation. Find a kinesiologist at bcak.bc.ca.
Don't miss Shelley Miro, 500-Year Itch at the Vancouver Art Gallery, a sharp-witted exhibition that explores the cultural knowledge and generational histories of the artist's Six Nations Mohawk community to provide purpose, hope, and healing. Haunted Village, Legends, Tales, and Other Stories returns to Burnaby Village Museum. Enjoy live Indigenous storytelling, witness amazing circus performances, join in on the nightly dance parties, and more. For Our BC, I'm Safia Pirani.
In partnership with Return It. Don't throw away your empty beverage containers. Hold on to them until you can recycle them and return it for your deposit refund.
Kamala Harris is having a hard time convincing undecided American voters she's the change candidate they need. Reggie Cicchini reports.
The clock is ticking in what has already been an abbreviated presidential campaign.
I am so deeply thankful to you.
This will be America's new golden age.
Since the Great Reset back in July, Donald Trump has kept his messaging the same, placating the most loyal who see America as a country on fire.
She will obliterate our economy, kill millions of jobs, and destroy your family finances forever.
These are often repeated lines that are working to keep Trump competitive, with the race still in the margins. But it's fractured as more Republicans line up to support his opponent.
People who have been leaders in our country, regardless of their political party, understand what's at stake.
However, while Kamala Harris is courting Republicans to her side, she's still scrambling to provide for those unfamiliar with her.
There are undecided voters who clearly, by being here, have an open mind.
During a town hall on Wednesday, Harris was vague on some policy, but experts argue that isn't a flawed strategy.
Harris does a good job if she's able to be specific enough that the voter feels that their needs and interests are addressed while still being vague enough to appeal to those that might not agree with her actual opinions.
Strategy to win people over also includes harnessing the power of celebrity. Harris will appear with Bruce Springsteen and Barack Obama on Thursday and Beyonce on Friday.
Several election cycles ago, before social media, before influencers, the power of celebrity felt a lot more authentic. It's absolutely an enhancement to a strategy. It can't be a strategy alone.
Ultimately, it will be left up to the candidates to make a closing statement. Trump will rally his supporters in New York, vilifying the status quo, while Harris is set to make her case that Trump remains a threat on the very site that he helped spark an attack on the home of American democracy. Reggie Cicchini, Global News, Washington.
Thanks for watching. I'll see you back here for the News Hour.
On this Thursday night, big changes to immigration policy in Canada. Why the door is closing on tens of thousands of newcomers.
We are an open country, but not everyone can come to this country.
And what it means for businesses. New details about how a young employee died at a Walmart store in Halifax.
I can't imagine what the family's going through, what the employees are going through.
How it's believed her mother found her, and the message from police to the public. And a league of their own.
We could come and enjoy, bring our family members out.
The Aboriginal Curling League, still sweeping strong after 30 years.
Global National with Donna Friesen.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. The federal government is making major changes to immigration numbers in Canada, pulling up the welcome mat and closing the door to tens of thousands of people it was